All right, folks, here we are in day 3 of our Costa Rica trip, and we're going to recap day 2 so that we give you all the dirty, juicy details about what's been going on here in the Costa Rican jungle. And you can see some of the grounds behind us. What did we do yesterday? It was a lot of pool time.
A lot of pool time, which is really great for connecting with people. A lot of drinking, a lot of socializing, a lot of being frisky and, frisky, flirty. And around 2, there's breakfast, right? And then, because drinking and staying up late the night before, and you roll out of bed, you have breakfast, maybe you take a little nap. Everyone heads down to pool around noonish. And then we had pool games at around 2 to 3. And what was our pool game for yesterday?
Pool game yesterday was a ring toss, but it was a different kind of ring toss. It involved strap-on dildos and rings. And the dynamic was you had a catcher, which was a woman wearing a strap-on the side of the pool. And you had a gentleman in the pool throwing the rings to kind of catch them. And so there's a lot of, hip action to try and catch the rings. And what was going on in between the tosser and the catcher?
I was the cock blocker. So that kept my guy from moving too far forward to cheat. Although I wasn't really good at that because I really wanted him to win. So my job also was to collect all the rings that didn't make it onto the strap-on in the pool and then feed those back to him so that he could keep trying multiple times.
And what was the object? How many rings did you have to catch?
All 5.
All 5 rings.
And different sizes. So I'm surprised the guys got the small ring. It was probably a 3-inch diameter from, 10 feet away? 12 feet away?
Yeah, it was.
They did good.
It was
3 people.
Quite challenging.
3 people got all 5. And two people, it was kind of like a tie, I think.
Yeah. So there were winners declared, and everyone had a good time
for that round. So later in the week, there's going to be a ring toss,
like a playoff, like a championship.
Yes.
Yes. That'll be fun.
So there'll be one ultimate winner who will get a fabulous prize.
Very cool.
Yes.
And what was the theme yesterday?
Yesterday's pool theme was poolside pasties. So even the men wore pasties. Women wore pasties, men wore pasties.
Yeah.
And then the day before we had animal print theme.
So we tried to have a theme each day of the week, but super minimal stuff. And, pasties are a pretty easy theme, with the exception of the hair loss, which can occur. And there were some gentlemen who were a little concerned about the removal process.
That's why there's pre-shaving that needs to happen.
There you go. That is one way to avoid it. Okay, so hold on a second. After pool time, kind of later in the evening, we were going to do it in the morning, but we moved it to the evening because it made a little bit more sense. People went back to their rooms. They kind of got dressed for dinner. And right after dinner, we did a presentation on consent. Mm-hmm. Phoebe's been doing a lot of research on consent and a lot of research with the Consent Academy and looking through their materials and talking with them. We had a great meeting with them, and we decided to present. It was mostly a talk about how to make consent sexy and how to make it interesting and kind of the dynamics that are involved with consent. Because I think a lot of people feel like they understand consent, but it's kind of nuanced. There's a lot of depth to it.
Yeah. And it's more than just saying yes or no. It's figuring out how to get a yes, how to get and feel confident in the yes, and how to give a yes or a no and feel confident giving a yes or no. There's a lot of factors that are involved in a social setting where you may say yes and you really don't mean yes. So as the person asking, you need to be able to figure out how confident was that person, or what was their ability to give me the yes? Did they really mean yes or not?
Right.
Or was it kind of a maybe? Is it a cultural thing, social pressure thing? All the nuances of it, which is what we talked about. And then, as the person giving that response, do you feel, confident, safe, okay to really give a truthful answer? And we were empowering people with information on how to be better at that, and just kind of be aware of the factors that can influence your response. And it's okay once you know what they are, then you can just work with it. So we definitely made it sexy and a nice way to interview people beforehand to get a consensual answer that works well for everybody.
Right. And this was our first time giving that presentation, and we're going to continue working on it because we'd like to turn it into an episode where we go into the details and we make it interactive and we present questions. And we can't do, obviously, a group dynamic where you can get group participation with an episode or a YouTube video, but we think this is really important information and it'll really help the community, and we want to share it. We want to share it with as many people as we can.
Exactly.
Last night's theme was fancy, not formal, which was nice because it's humid here.
It's very humid.
And
my skin looks amazing.
Yeah, I mean it's
you don't need moisturizer.
It's fantastic for
here.
For just feeling refreshed and
warm. All your allergies go away. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's very, very relaxing. So people dressed up, usually, something sexy, but not too weighed down. There were some sparkles. Ladies were wearing some nice shoes and
wedges or flip-flops, because we are in the jungle and there are some uneven surfaces, and it's hot. Once your feet are enclosed, it gets a little hot. So a lot of sparkly flip-flops.
We had some live music
we did have
with
live
dinner.
Music.
So there was a musician who played for a little bit, local guy. I guess he's played for them a number of times, and he was good. Some traditional kind of classic rock kind of sound, and helped kind of fill in the background with some music. And then afterwards, we all went up to the Boom Boom Room for a little bit of a lingerie party and a little bit of a toy demo, which was fun.
Right.
There's an array of toys that the host has provided up in the playroom, and she talked about how to clean them properly and maintain them and some of the uses of the various toys. And there was a pretty wide selection. Butt plugs, dildos.
Yeah, so if you don't want to pack any of your toys, there's no shortage of toys here. People brought a lot of their own, but the host also brings a plethora of toys. So she lives down here, and she can store all those here. So it's really great.
Yeah.
And she's open to you using them, and you just have to wash them up, put a condom on them when you use them, wash them when you're done, and then put them back.
So in addition to that, she also brought out from the regular sex toys that most people will be familiar with to the kink side, with some straps and some spreader bars, some kind of improvised stretcher bars. She didn't bring her St. Andrew's cross because it's a little hard to put into the overhead bin.
Or ship it on the plane.
Or ship it on the plane.
Underneath, yeah.
So she improvised some stretcher bars, but they'll work perfectly well for restraining.
Well, and to clarify, even though she lives down here, she has 2 homes. So
right.
Trying to get...
Bringing stuff back and forth is challenging.
Right.
There were floggers that she brought out, some interesting ones that I'd seen before but not actually played with, and it was nice to be able to kind of smack them on your hand and feel what how they felt. And then the last demo for the night was the Sybian demo.
Oh yeah.
And for
volunteers,
we had a volunteer come up. 2, yeah, that's right. There was a second lady who got up and
she was fun.
Rode the saddle.
One gal was more subtle with her vocal, but you could definitely see what was going on. And then the other gal, we already knew because she had done a demonstration with something earlier that evening, and I was like, oh, she's gonna spout in like 2 seconds, and
Yeah,
sure enough,
yeah.
like a few seconds she's on there.
She's very orgasmic, and
Probably
within 30 seconds,
Yeah.
she was already
yeah,
squealing with delight.
yeah. And then they got her a second time too.
Right. So that was always fun. It's always fun watching a Sybian demo, and you've had the pleasure of trying it out once and having a good experience. Maybe
did.
this week we'll try it some more and see how that works.
Yeah, maybe in private.
Maybe in private.
Yeah,
Or a small group.
a small group. I'd be okay with a small group that I know.
Yeah, there are about 40 people here, so 20 couples.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty big group to do a big demo in front
I'm
of
an
a whole bunch of people.
exhibitionist, but some things, I don't know. I'm a little picky sometimes with my exhibitionism.
Yeah, I think people can relate to that.
Yeah.
And that's a recap of yesterday's activities.
Yeah.
Today,
Well, after actually.
Oh, that's
After
true. Let's
after
talk
the
about
boo-boo.
after.
So a bunch of us went down to the pool for a late night swim, and that was nice and refreshing. And they have beds set up on the back end of the pool where there was some friskiness going on late last night. Really wanted to stay up later, but we have an excursion
Right.
today. And a lot of people picked the chocolate factory tour, right?
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
yeah,
I say factory because it makes it sound, but it's not this massive, facility. It's local, right? And so we get to see how it's grown. We get to see how it's made. We get to possibly even
actually make some chocolate.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And of course, buy some and bring it back. So the goal today is to bring back some chocolate and possibly massage each other with it, and then of course once it's on, you have to get it off somehow. So
Right, and you don't want to waste chocolate.
and I've already started writing some checks this morning at breakfast about the ability for that chocolate to get off my body once it's applied. So yeah,
Yeah. Well,
I've
we're going to have some fun with some
I do
chocolate.
have some expectations today already, I will say.
We are setting things up for
I am.
some future playtime.
I am. So today is what, day 3? Yes.
Day
Things
3.
need to start happening now.
For sure. But today's mostly a free day, and so
Yeah.
a lot of people are kind of breaking up. We've got some zip liners going. We're doing the chocolate tour.
And we have some crocodile tours going.
Yep. There's some people who are going to do a crocodile tour.
Ooh, and a fishing boat, deep sea fishing excursion.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going today or not.
Okay.
Because the one person who was interested, I just saw him walk by, and usually they go out early in the morning. So
yeah.
we'll see if that happens. But they'll even cook the fish here, which is super cool.
Right?
So there you go.
All right, everyone. I think that pretty much wraps up yesterday.
Yep.
And so stay tuned for more fun and shenanigans as we report back tomorrow.
If you like these episodes and you want to hear more, be sure to subscribe. And if you want to hear more juicy details behind the scenes, we're going to have to record another Patreon episode and get that out this week.
Yes.
And
Hopefully after today, there will be lots of sexy, juicy content.
maybe we do some recording for one of our sessions and see if people would be down for that. That would be exciting.
We have threatened to do that.
We have threatened people with a good time.
Okay. That's what we're doing.
We'll see if we get any takers, any volunteers.
That's what we're doing.
A little performative stuff.
That
So
would
yes,
be
we are thinking about doing content like that for Patreon. So if you're interested in that kind of content, definitely check us out.
Yeah.
And
Audio erotica.
right. And we'll talk to you guys again tomorrow. So stay tuned for more from Costa Rica.